Bavaria is one of the largest and most modern shipyards in the world for sailing yachts, motor yachts and cruising catamarans. The Bavaria name stands for a classic yacht-building tradition combined with state-of-the-art engineering mastery made in Germany. Join us to have a look at the Bavaria production yachts and the ultra-modern series production of yachts. Welcome to the Bavaria Shipyard. The development of a new yacht begins with the engineers in the design and construction department. They develop the idea how a new yacht should look and work together with international designers on the plans for a new sailing or motorboat, refining them till they achieve perfection. The work begins with drawing the lines for the hull and deck. The yachts from Bavaria have extremely fast and very seaworthy hulls and are known for their modern, elegant, sporty design. Our boat yachts, sailing and motor yachts have already won an array of international design awards and prizes. But before the construction designers release their plans for the building of a new yacht, there are still quite a few details to be resolved. The layout of the cabins and saloons has to be specified, as well as the exact locations for all the other fittings and installed equipment. With carefully selected upholstery, covers, woodwork and trimming, the design team knows exactly how to create the perfect sense of space below deck. The interior of a Bavaria is far more than just its colors and lines, with comfort and functionality accorded top priority. Thanks to the wide range of experience, the yacht guarantees that all of the fittings are of excellent, superior quality and extremely hard-wearing, as indeed are all the fabrics used in the Bavaria yachts and boats. Each Bavaria has its own specific mold, to which a strong coating of gel coat several millimeters thick is first applied in the spray room. The gel coat is injected in several layers by the yacht spraying robot, as it operates to the exact millimeter. Once the mold has left the spray room, the laminating of the hull can begin. Fiberglass mats that are typically used in the production of textiles are now cutted individually into exact patterns to match the model they are intended for. For each Bavaria, the design and production team prepares a specific load profile. Taking this as their basis, they then produce a lamination plan detailing the arrangement of the fiberglass mats in the mold and laminate it on in several work steps. Isophthal acid resin is used in the outer layers to achieve maximum quality. It provides highly effective protection against osmosis and ensures that the hull has a long life. As soon as the resin has hardened, the hull is carefully removed from the mold. A computerized CNC milling machine then drills the bore holes to the exact millimeter for the outboard connections, as well as for the exact fitting to the deck and the precise milling of the windows in the hull. In order to be able to automate all of these stages, Bavaria already developed its own high-tech system a number of years ago, one that is still unique in the yacht and boat building industry today. Like the hull, the deck of a Bavaria also consists of a high-tensile but light sandwich construction with foam inlays. The upper and bottom shells of the deck are laminated in different molds. Before the deck shells can be glued to each other, the cable ducts are laid and other important installations are added. After this work is completed, the adhesive cement is sprayed on in a complex specialized process. The upper and lower decks are then slowly and carefully fitted together to the precise millimeter and firmly attached to each other. Using the CNC milling machine again, the final edgings are cut with maximum precision in the required shape and set in the places marked for the bore holes, which will be needed later on for connecting the fittings. In the storage area directly behind the deck fitting section, all of the fittings are assembled for use in the various yachts and taken directly to the shipbuilders to fit them to the decks. The deck is reinforced with aluminium at the points where the fittings will be connected later on. Each and every Bavaria is unique and different. Teak decks are manufactured separately for each yacht and permanently glued to the deck in a vacuum process. The cleats, hatches and all the fittings have their set place on the deck, and the shipbuilders know every exact hand movement when it comes to fitting them. All of the instruments and the switches for the motors are fitted manually into the consoles at the helm stand. As soon as all of the elements have been assembled and inserted in their places, a specialist fits the console face into the console casing. The instruments are now ready to be connected to the engine electronics later on. Before further fittings and installations can be mounted onto the hull, the first pre-assembled parts required for connecting the IPS or Z drives to the motor are added to each Bavaria. The outboard connections are fitted and a bow thruster is also installed if the client wishes to have it. From the tree trunk to the finished cabin, all of the wooden elements in the yachts are manufactured directly in the yacht's own joinery by its woodwork specialists. And when it comes to processing and finishing the wooden parts for a yacht, the yacht can look back on more than 30 years of skilled craftsmanship in this area. The state-of-the-art computerized machines and robots in the joinery always guarantee consistently high quality with the interior finish. Already when the various parts are being cut, care is taken to ensure that the wood grain in the walls, lockers and doors will all match each other later on. To achieve this, all of the elements belonging together are cut from the same sheet. The ultra-modern milling machines guarantee that all of the wooden parts fit exactly to each other later on. Robots then sort out all the processed parts for further workmanship. The handrails and the edges of the lockers and tables are made of solid wood. With such attention to quality, the yacht has gained a reputation in the trade press for supplying the best interior fittings and finishes for yachts worldwide. After the parts have been cut, they are varnished 6 times in the yacht's dedicated varnishing facility, with the result that they all have high-quality, hard-wearing surfaces. At the end of this process, the finished teak, mahogany and oak wood cabins, galleys and bathrooms in the joinery are ready for fitting. And depending on the type of wood used, all of the other facings and elements are color-coded to match them. Here's where the boat builders really show their visual acumen and know-how in every single detail when it comes to the various types of wood used. At Bavaria, the yachts are assembled on a total of 4 production lines. At each stage in the process, separate teams of specialists coordinate their work perfectly with the other teams in terms of the time planning. And in the process, they create a new motor yard section by section. All of the components required are supplied just in time and stored right at the production line or even made there directly. This permits short distances and an efficient production. In order to ensure that the hull also has a robust surface on the inside capable of withstanding damp, all of its surfaces are sealed with top coat. The motors are installed and fitted at the production line. They are supplied directly to the yacht's production line by the manufacturer with all the required liquids and lubricants already in them. A team of specialists then ensures that the fuel lines are correctly fitted and the complex control systems are connected properly to the motors. Performance tests are carried out on the parts directly at the production line. The components and parts manufactured in the joinery are now installed directly in the new yard using a crane. The floor section is added in advance to ensure that each bulkhead fits in its allotted place to the exact millimeter. It goes without saying that here at Bavaria, all of the bulkheads are laminated to the hull. This ensures that the hull and deck together achieve an extremely high level of stability later on. Quite a number of lines and cables are required to supply the water and power to a yacht. The engineers and production teams need to spend a lot of time and all of their experience to ensure that these complex systems are installed in such a way that servicing them later on is smooth and trouble-free. One of the most important moments in the construction of a yacht is when the finished deck is placed on the hull. But for the shipbuilders, this is routine work as they fit the larger parts to each other perfectly to the exact millimeter. The deck and hull are then glued to each other and even screwed together. Installing the windows is precision work and requires a lot of experience. The panes are prepared for fitting directly at the production line. With perfect timing, developed by the team of installers and the suppliers together for the installation work, the paints are adjusted to fit exactly and then stuck in place using a special adhesive. Finally, the motor yachts get their hardtop or coupe roof. The sliding roofs, windshield wipers and any other fittings required are already directly integrated into the roofs beforehand at the production line. A Bavaria is only ready when a green flag is fluttering on the stern of the new yacht at the end of the production line. This means that the quality control team have finished their work and not found fault with any aspect of the new boat. And the quality control team are extremely diligent, checking each and every detail precisely. If the controllers do find a flaw or defect, this is marked and immediately recorded in a comprehensive checklist. Even the most minimal of flaws are noted and rectified. The first contact a Bavaria yacht has with water is in the yacht's testing pool. Even large yachts up to 56 feet and with a flotation depth of up to 4 meters can fit in the testing pool. As soon as the engineers, shipbuilders and quality control team are satisfied with every single aspect, the new Bavaria yacht is prepared for transport to the customer or dealer. Bavaria has a network of dealers who operate on a global level and are based on every continent across the globe. A new yacht is transported by truck, either directly to the dealer who ordered it or taken to a port of departure for shipment overseas to its final destination. Well packed to ensure no damage occurs, it soon reaches its new owner.